from Elite Hair Care. This is another car chronicle. The notion of this video is what are the best flat irons for your hair type. There are a million and one flat irons out there. I have one now that I'm actually getting very excited about. But there are a lot of larger companies out there: FHI, Chi, Babyliss, H2 Pro, that kind of thing. You guys know that I typically use a Babyliss iron or I use a H2 Pro iron, and it's all by choice. So I always get the question versus, hey Shay, um, the question is either what's the best iron for natural hair, what's the best iron for relaxed hair, which is better, titanium or ceramic. If you guys have been watching my videos, you know that I am big. Sorry, my phone might be shaky. Ceramic irons are best. And for silking purposes, like if you are a stylist and you're in a salon, then I always suggest that you have both titanium and ceramic. I don't technically I don't recommend titanium irons at home. Hey Jay, titanium irons are more direct heat. That's number one. Number two, um, it's not something for everyday use. Hey Nita. So when it comes down to okay, which iron is better to use, it really number one depends on a couple of not even number one. It depends on a couple of different factors, right? Um, Factor one is hair type and hair texture. Factor two is style that you're trying to achieve or how often you will be using it. Factor three, are you professional or are you, um, I'm not going to say are you a novice because there's no such thing. Are you a professional, meaning you work in a salon or an environment where you're constantly utilizing the iron? Or are you what we call a retail client, meaning it was retailed to you for that purpose for at-home use? So how you determine what iron is best for you? Number one, I'm big on when clients ask me, I automatically go to ceramic. So I never recommend titanium irons for clients at home. I feel like they will be misused, and not saying you don't know how to use it, but too much of something is not always good. And titanium irons are extremely direct heat because the plates do not have a coating or a buffer on them. That's number one. And number two, if you're using it as a retail client, you're going to be using that iron a lot more on yourself than me as a hairstylist who will only see you every week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, every 6 months, every year, right? So that's the reason why I don't recommend titanium irons for at-home use. Now, if you have one, that's fine. I'm not against it, but you might want to cut down on the amount of heat or the heat setting on that iron. And why is it that when I'm in a rush, everyone wants to take their time? Like, oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry, that was a sidebar, guys. Anyhow, with ceramic irons, let me back up. Let me back up to this point because I need to talk to everyone as if you don't know. So if you're not a person that is familiar with what a titanium iron is versus a ceramic iron, a titanium iron is a raw plate. Typically, the plate is very shiny, like titanium would be, like not glass, but like silver, like a very shiny chrome, or a very shiny gold. And then ceramic is a coated plate. So I'll use this iron anyway because this is a ceramic plate. Okay, it has a coating on the plate and then the plate is under it. So the heat is going to be a little bit more diffused than it would with a titanium iron that is a raw plate. Okay, so ceramic has a coating on the plate, titanium does not. Hence the reason I do not recommend titanium at home because I feel like the heat is just really direct and it might be abused in a way if you don't know what you're doing, right? Okay. What necessities should a flat iron have when you are purchasing it? Number one, I do not purchase irons that utilize just a on and off switch. It needs to also have a temperature gauge where you're able to check the temperature that you have it on. You are able to set the temperature to whatever you want it to be. That is very important. And it's not based on the model. Every company is different. But if you can't control the heat setting on the iron and it's just an on and off, that means that you're always going from cold to max. You have no control in between. What if you are, very thin hair or very fine textured hair, which is the better term, very fine textured hair, and your heat setting goes all the way to 465, but you don't know that it goes to 465. It just says it on the box, and all you do is turn it on and turn it off. And every single day when you are styling your hair with your thermal tool, you are styling with 465 degrees. That's not too good. That's not good. That's not even too good. That's not good. That's not good at all. Okay. So you want to make sure that your iron has a temperature setting on it, right? You also want to make sure that your iron is something that you will utilize on a normal basis. Don't get an iron just because it's pretty. Get the iron because it has the features that you need it to have. So like for me, when I purchase an iron, I have multiple irons because I deal with multiple things. So when I purchased my first flat iron, I needed an iron that I was able to also curl with it because I did not want to have multiple tools. This was years and years and years ago before I got really, really, really into my craft. And I only wanted to have like one or two irons on my station. And that's all I wanted to use for the 3,000 clients that I service. Doesn't work. So I made sure to get an iron that had a bevel mouth, that I could use it to curl. It also had a temperature gauge. It also was it glided on the hair. Have you ever had a flat iron that when you use it, you kind of go, "Ugh." It's like it's almost like you're forcing it down the strand. You don't want something that's going to force down the strand because guess what? If you're forcing it down the strand, it's going to force that strand out. It's going to pull out. So you want an iron that when it gets hot, it glides, right? Okay, so we've already determined that your iron needs to have a temperature gauge where you are able to up and lower or increase or lower the temperature on it, where it has a separate on and off switch. The temperature and the on and off switch are typically separate on most irons, right? The question was, why do some irons come without temperature gauge? I've seen them before. It seems dumb. Well, here's the thing. The cheaper the iron, the less features you have. Things such as a temperature gauge, that iron might have cost that vendor $2. And then they sell it to you for $9.99. And they just made $7. Why? Because their price point was already so low. That's why the iron is $9.99. So you do the math. A $9.99 flat iron is not going to give you the same features as a $80 flat iron, as a $100 flat iron. But there's a downside to this. A $100 flat iron can also be trash too. It happens. I have a lot of irons. I've gone through so many. And that's what brought me to making the decision that I wanted to have my own line of irons outside of my hair care products because I know what I'm looking for. And while I'm getting it through H2 Pro and all these other companies, I myself am a brand of my own and I am building my own brand and I need to have my own tools that I use. I feel like I've made everyone else so important and I've made everyone else so valuable with my information, but I'm not getting the reward. So, guess what? In business, you have to reward yourself before you reward anyone else. And that's what made me decide that I wanted to have my own line of iron. There was another question. I have a Chi from when they first came on the market. I need to upgrade soon as possible. If only it only has one temperature on it. Thank you so much for educating about this. You're welcome. I don't buy irons that just have on and off switches anymore. I don't. I am one of those people where I need to try it out. And typically, when I first try an iron, I hate it. I know that's crazy, but it's very true. When I first tried the iron because it has not been tempered, every iron has to be tempered. And I'll tell you how to temper an iron when we're done, or thermal tool when we're done. So every thermal tool has to be tempered. You have to bring it to the max of the heat settings that it has, allow it to sit and stay consistent in that temperature, and then turn it off and it cool. That's how you temper your iron. So if I don't temper my irons, or what we call break them in, I hate them. And I've hated every iron I've ever purchased in life to this moment, to this moment, I've hated every iron that I've ever purchased up until it tempered. And then I loved it. Love, love, love. Babyless is, I am notorious for hating babyless irons the day I get them, and I will let them sit for one whole year before I use them. So let me go back and get some questions really quick. So true. I had a titanium. I paid $100 for it. It just stopped working. It just stopped working. Had it for 2 years. 2 years is actually a good lifeline for an iron. Now my babyless irons I've had for 3, 4, 5 years. It just depends on how you're using them, and remember how you treat them too. If you drop them a lot, that kind of thing. Not saying you did, but that is a big determining factor on the life of an iron. Where can I buy your products? EliteHairCareUSA.com is absolutely the place. And the summer sizzle sale still going on, 30% off everything. Do you have your own flat iron coming out soon? I shall show you. I shall show you. Thank you, Jay, for putting that in there. Did she answer it's okay to use an egg in black castor for shedding? I am 4 minutes late. Actually, I'm not talking about my products on this video. I'm more talking about irons and such. Oh, good to know. Why is tempering important? So tempering is important for you to get the maximum of the heat element. So remember, when an iron is created, they temper it internally, right, at their place. But when it comes to you, you don't know how long it's been sitting in that box. You don't know how long it's been unplugged. It's like a car that you never use, and then you just go a year later and want to start it up, and that baby's supposed to start up. You don't do that. So with an iron, tempering it allows you to get it to its hottest point, and it allows you to then even out or equal out that heat element. Whereas when you get an iron and you just use it for the first time, it's not going to give you the same effect as it would if you had tempered it and used it on multiple occasions and what we call break it in. Just like shoes, you break them in to make them work for you. I use irons with different settings because everyone has hair textures. Everyone hair textures are different and need different heat settings. Yes, they must be tempered, then they are ready. Most of the time you get what you pay. Absolutely, Cindy. Absolutely. You get what you pay for. But there's also times where I have paid 100, 200. I think the max that I spent on an iron was 225, and I absolutely hated it, and it was absolute trash. Absolute trash, right? So yes, you get what you pay for. Now I have not gone to the level of getting a $9.99 iron and expecting that baby to just glide and give me some amazing pull and just I don't have to work so hard. I've never seen that either. So there's a happy medium in between. Would I spend 225 on another flat iron? Probably not. Not knowing what I know now. Back then I didn't know much about it. Marvita, it's probably your Wi-Fi setting or your sometimes it's your side. So someone asked, do I have my own iron coming out? I do. Did I receive my sample? I did. Do I love it? Absolutely. When is it going to be available? Don't know. Haven't gotten that far yet. I can give you guys the details and I'll show you guys what it looks like. No one else will know unless they watch this video what it looks like. I'll probably make a post about it, but this is the iron. And this little strip right here is an infrared strip. So this baby is my iron. It locks. Okay, I can unlock it. It goes up to 450 degrees. It has a temperature setting, lower and increase, and it also has a power button to turn it on and off. And on top of that, it is a beveled or dome shape so that you can also curl with it if you know how to curl with a flat iron, which I do all the time. So that was what stimulated me to say, okay, well, let's talk about flat irons because I know what people are always looking for. And it's not to say, oh, yeah, get my iron, because I still use other people's iron. You get what I mean? I still use a lot of other people's iron. I still make a lot of companies a lot of money. But I want my own. It's time for my own. Will it be available in different sizes? Right now, I'm only working on the 1 inch. I know they make that iron in the 1.5 or 2 inch. But for now, you have to work one by one. These things are cheap. And when you're trying to get what you want out of them, every element costs every dollar that you listen. Not cheap. Not cheap. So I'm going to be testing it out for the next day or two, because it's easier to test it out in the salon, and that'll give me an idea of if I need to change anything or anything of that sort. Do you know if the steam flat irons are harmful? I don't think they're harmful because those were really, they came out to help put moisture in the hair. Let's be quite honest. Would I want an iron to steam my hair and straighten it? Sometimes people do too much. They're okay, but they're not. It's not a necessity. If you have one, that's fine. If you don't have one, would I buy one? Probably not. I feel like they were just hyped up. The the ring though. Thank you. If you guys notice, I don't wear a lot of jewelry, and I don't. Today was a special day. Today is my daughter's wolf camp, and today is the day where they integrate them to learn about middle school. She's going to the 6th grade. I think I'm more nervous than she is. So I'm headed to pick her up right now, and I can't wait till she gets in the car and she needs to tell me everything. They're lucky I even dropped her off because I'm the type of parent to sit in the parking lot, and I said, Krista, you got to back up a little bit, just a half an inch. Give her ass a half an inch and back up and let her make friends and not be a mommy's baby, because I would sit in the courtyard and wait on you. Anyhow, so that's what I've been working on, guys. So I just let the cat out the bag. Yes, I did. I do have an iron coming out soon. You guys will see me demonstrating it a lot on my YouTube channel with my clients, because I believe in real life value and not just hyping it up. Oh, this is the bomb. This is the bomb. Oh, this is the bomb. No, I want you to see it. I want you to see it with your own two eyes. That this baby is the bomb, and you see me use this baby to say it is the bomb. So this is it right here. I'm really excited about this. So yeah. And thank you guys so much. I want to say congrats to my daughter too, but I'm just like, a part of me was gonna put her back in private school so I could like make sure that it was only like 6 kids and you can't mess around with her. But gotta back off sometimes. I'm one of those parents. What type of plate is it? Ceramic? Absolutely, Phyllis. The plate on this iron is a ceramic plate. I have not gotten to the point where I'm ready for titanium, because I feel like on a retail basis, I don't want to retail a titanium iron. If I do, it would be more for professionals, because I know what it can do. And I know that some titanium irons, and that's all good, and life is good, and it's about all of that. I've never been one of those people, nor will I begin to be, because I don't want my company to be based on quantity and not quality. I'm big on quality. Quantity is going to come no matter what. Quality is what keeps you in business. That one is yours. Yes, this one is mine. You guys will see me utilizing it over time in my videos while I get everything prepared. So far, that one is the one that I am going to be using. I haven't gotten anything else in yet. I need to make sure that this is absolutely the one. This is it. This is it. So that's what's going on. But anyhow, other things to look for in a flat iron. So if you're using a flat iron at home, I've had irons that were, as soon as it touched the hair, it fried my client's hair. I've had 2 irons that did that actually. One burnt straight through my cape. The other one burnt straight through my client's hair. Could you believe it? One burnt straight through my cape. It put a hole in my cape by just clipping it just one time. And the other one, I touched my client's hair and that baby singed and fell right off. And I was in tears. I was in tears. So that is something else that you have to be very careful with. Whenever you have your irons, however much you invest in them, I don't care if it's a $9.99 iron, $9.99 US cents. Take absolute care of it. Don't drop it everywhere. I've dropped my iron so many times, and now I have to go and purchase a new one of my pencil iron because it's warped from me mistreating it and just throwing it around and not caring, leaving it on and all of this stuff. So now it's warped, and I have to go and spend another $175. because that is a vital tool. That's a tool that I must have. That is a tool that I cannot do without. So don't invest in these irons and then you don't take care of them, right? A lot of you like to keep your irons on the bathroom sink. You like to keep them nice and plugged in. When you are finished using your irons, technically you need to plug them out, especially if you're at home. You need to plug them out, okay? I don't plug my irons out at the salon, but that's because I'm a stylist and I'm constantly using them. But if you're only using it once every so often or once a week, why leave it plugged in? Plug it out. You can damage the heat element that way. I use mine almost every day. So every single day, it's like a car. I start my car every day. If you don't start your car every day, eventually it's going to wear down, right? So treat your tools the same way, guys. Treat your tools just so you are a hairstylist. Treat them with respect. I'm big on that, just like how I say treat your hair with respect, treat your tools with respect. Hey, Lanisha. Someone asked me a question. Hello, I haven't asked any questions for you. What do you think about this flat? Francis, which flat? Are you talking about the iron that I just showed? I'm not sure. Didn't know that. Marvetta, yes, you should be plugging your irons out and putting them away. Definitely. Don't leave them on the bathroom sink. You know what I mean? Don't just throw them down. You ever put your iron down and you hear it click on the counter? You shouldn't really hear it click on the counter, guys. You're tearing your irons up. So if you're natural and maybe you do your silk outs at home, that is the only time I will say titanium is okay for your silk out. Would I invest in a titanium iron to silk my hair every 4 months? I would not. Let's be smart here. Let's make smart investments. Hello, late but here. Thank you for your tips. It helps. I have short hair and need a iron. So for short hair, they have half-inch irons and they now have pencil irons. Excuse me, guys. You can get either or. I use those on my hair. Will I be offering those? Probably not right now. The day will soon come, but not right now. You said my name right the first time. Marvetta or Marvita? Is it Beta or Vita? In Jamaica, it would be Marvetta. So I guess everybody's different, but yeah. So those are some tips and tricks and hints that you can utilize. Okay, I did say it right. That you can utilize when you are determining the iron that is best for your hair. Keep in mind, if you have fine textured hair, guys, your heat setting is going to change. Let's talk about heat settings before I get off. Heat settings differ. So if you have fine textured hair, you can actually flat iron your hair on 350 and get the same curl that a person on 450 would get because you have fine textured hair, right? But if you have coarse hair, would 350 work for you? It would not. So for those of you who are always afraid of heat damage, because it's very common, I get the question all the time. Heat damage happens when you do something repetitive over and over and over and over again, or at the wrong time. So I'm natural 4C. My hair has never been straight. Any suggestions? Get a silk press, baby. You're gonna love it. But get it by the right person. What I was saying in regards to heat settings, coarse textured hair requires a higher heat because that cuticle is the most resistant. So typically when I'm silking natural hair, I'm silking on 450. I never silk at less than 450. And I have an iron that goes to 465. Sometimes I'm at 465. But I am silking. So I only do 1 to 1.5 passes on that strand, right? If you are at home, you can take more time. You can do a lot smaller sections than I do because I do larger sections when I'm silking. I don't do baby sections when I'm silking. It's 106. My baby's out. I can't wait to go get her. I do larger sections when I'm silking, right? So when I silk, I do 1/4 of an inch or 3/4 of an inch to an inch of a section. Versus those at home, you might do kind of like pinch class where you're pinching the hair and you shouldn't be doing it that small. That's how you get heat damage. So keep in mind, sectioning is a big thing. If your hair is coarse, you're going to be on a higher heat setting than those who have fine textured hair. You're going to be on a much higher heat setting than those who have fine textured hair. For me, even with my fine textured shortcuts, could you believe I still use my iron at 450? I do. I do. Control my hair. But everyone is different. For the definitely keep your iron between 4 and 425 and take a little bit smaller sections and look at your hair texture and type to determine how your heat setting would be. A lot of companies that are out there, they come out with these forms, these papers, and they tell you, they give you like a guide of what your heat setting or range of heat should be for your hair. Most of the time, these irons are not made for natural textured hair. Let me say this the right way. Natural textured hair. So keep that in mind. Even though the iron says use it at 300 and your hair is coarse, 300 is like a blow dryer when you're way out here. It's a big stretch. That is how you get heat damage. I'm going to read a couple comments and then I am going to be outie. Let's see. That's just what I was going to ask about. I have fine natural hair. Yes, so fine textured hair, your heat setting will be different. What can I do if my hair isn't soft and won't hold a curl? If my hair is soft and won't hold a curl. Most people with soft or fine textured hair doesn't hold a curl well. It's not really what you can do about it other than use like a hairspray or something to hold. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and loving your skill and replying in a timely manner. Love you being real and down to earth. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Jay, do you recommend using the barrel curling iron for at-home use? Yes, I use barrel curling irons now because my flat iron can't give me those big curls. Phyllis, 350 degrees for fine hair with a ceramic, or can I go up a temperature setting with a ceramic? You can go up. Guys, you can go to whatever temperature you want. Don't take this for verbatim because everybody's going to be different and every company's iron is different. There's 9 billion irons out there. So every single one of them, the setting is going to be absolutely different and your hair type is going to be different. So don't take that verbatim. Just kind of play with it, but I wouldn't say start at 450. Start at 400. If that's not giving you the look that you're trying to go for, that silkiness, sometimes it's also your technique. So keep that in mind when you're using your irons. What hairspray would you recommend? I use Sebastian Shaper Plus. Sebastian Shaper Plus. And it still doesn't hold with hairspray. Well, that means that it's really soft. My hair, I have to use spritz for my hair to hold. And I have a shortcut. What weightless gloss would you recommend? The Goddess Frizz Tamer and Shine Serum is weightless. I have straight curly hair. I have straight curly hair. What curling iron can I use that also helps with frizz? I'm from Southern Africa. Okay, so don't think you can have straight curly hair. That's not possible. Number 2, the iron is not. Sorry, guys. I am here picking up my child, and I'm already nervous. So I'm sorry for everybody who was buffering for me. But I hope you guys got all the tips and tricks and deets on your flat iron and just making sure that you're doing the right thing with them. Where's my child? Oh, okay. I'm taking you guys with me. Anyhow, guys, I'm gonna talk to everyone on the next slide. Look out for my flat iron. Don't